Thunder impresses in California, Masters athletes enjoy Austin, and Joe's in a truck on today's TXWaterpolo Podcast. I'm James Smith in Austin, Texas, and on Skype is Joe Linehan somewhere. Where are you, Joe?
I'm on I-35, heading back to North Texas.
Yeah, what have you... We talked the other day, like you've had a busy couple of days. What have you been up to?
I'm just going around since the UIL kind of came about, and then the decision happened in October. You know, there's been a lot of conversations with athletic directors and swim coaches. That they have lots of questions about, why the fall. How is it going to work? And every school, every situation is going to be slightly different based off the number of coaches, the number of pools, the number of schools in a school district. So, I'm just in this particular trip, I went down to San Antonio and talked to the Northeast ISD people, the Northside ISD people, the Alma Heights people. They're all on board. They're all going to be, they're all heading to play kind of high school water polo starting in fall 2021. A couple of them are still kind of playing a little bit until then. But, everybody has a different little plan, but that's essentially what I'm doing.
So that's your gig in a lot of ways. I mean, you're the sort of growth developer for this entire region. So your job in some ways is to go visit these people to make sure that they understand what it's going to take for them to get something going and where they sort of stand in the larger water polo world in the state of Texas.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I just ended up taking a trip this time because there was a lot of people to talk to in a short amount of time. But a lot of times I'm on the phone, I'm sending emails to these people, and just having those first discussions now, because we are still 20 months away. Yeah. So, and people want to start planning. I mean, it's anything from, all right, where do I buy water polo goals? Where's the best place to get swimsuits? There's there was one of the people I talked to this past weekend. They were asked about suits, and I go, and they're sponsored by Arena, and I'm like, I think Arena has water polo. You might want to look into that. And they were very shocked to hear that they actually did have water polo suits, and and they're going to be moving in that direction. And so it's just really just answering the little questions. Yeah. So they can worry about the bigger ones. Is all right. So how are we going to fit this payroll, and kind of where are we going to put the teachers? And because as the water polo coach, if they add a water polo specific coach to a school, they're also going to have a teaching position for them. Right. They have to be a full-time employee within a school district, right, which is different than other states out there.
Yep, exactly. It's good news that you're visiting these districts, these schools. San Antonio has been, as somebody who's lived in the West region for some time now and tried to get these teams back in the pool, has they essentially abandoned high school water polo in about 2012, with a couple exceptions here and there, and they've been very, very slowly growing since then. But this is nothing but good news about them. I'm presuming they're all going to return. There's 9 teams in the north side and something more, I don't know, in the east side. Actually, there's a lot of them that will be coming back into the fold. The bad news is that a lot of them are actually pretty good, and my team is a little less experienced, or at least the teams in my area, so they're going to have a much more competitive landscape than they used to. That's the only drawback.
Well, I mean, there are 12 schools in the Northside ISD. There are 7 schools in Northeast ISD, and then there's Alma Heights, and Alma Heights and Northside have always played water polo at a certain level. Yeah. It's been at a lesser level the last few years, but they've been picking it up the last couple of years. I mean, for those that don't know, I actually grew up in San Antonio. So I'm from San Antonio, and I want to see San Antonio kind of get going and moving in.
No kidding.
A more robust direction. There's lots of stuff going on in Houston. There's lots of stuff going on in North Texas. There's lots of stuff going on in Austin. But I think the pieces are there. The UIL is going to be a driving force of getting people to maybe start adding club water polo. But I believe it's going in that direction. So I'm ecstatic about the meetings. Lots of very good people are getting on board, and I'm just looking forward to the next steps.
Yeah, me too. They've They've had a local championship for the last several years in August, I think, or in the fall. And so it's not as though they haven't been playing. So I'm almost as excited as you to have them back. It's going to be this is a gigantic contributor to the growth of the sport in the state, and San Antonio has a pedigree in water polo that I don't know how many people know. I mean, that's where the center of water polo was for much or most of the 80s. So it's very good news to have them back.
Yeah, it's great, and it's just getting more and more teams playing. I mean, it's not just San Antonio, but there's other little pockets out there, anywhere from Victoria, Texas, Bryan College Station, down in the valley, and in McAllen and Harlingen, Los Fresnos and Brownsville, all the way out to El Paso and everything in between. So getting all these people on board and there's lots of questions out there, and again, everybody's situation is slightly different. So.
Right. Yeah, great news. More news from the state of Texas is that I didn't even know this, but you're the one who told me, so you get to fill everybody in. But Thunder went out to California to play some games this last weekend in a tournament. I think they were the only team, but you tell me. It was Thunder, 18s and 16 boys. Is that it? Came back with some pretty impressive results.
Yeah, so I believe the Thunder 1800 boys and 1600 boys, they were the only team from Texas at the Holiday Cup, which is the Cap 7 Holiday Cup. It was at the Woolett Aquatic Center, and the 1600 boys, they played in the Gold Division, which was the second division, and they placed 7th place, and they did very well. And then the 1800 boys actually played in the Platinum Division, and were playing in the 5th place game, and I think they ended up getting 6th place in Platinum, which was ahead of any team from San Diego Shores, Set, Chop, Foothill. So they were playing with and beating some of the best teams in Southern California.
That's fantastic. Really good news.
And that's just another step that teams like Thunder and also Pegasus, I think Trident's been out, and Viper Pigeons, they're going out of state and competing on a regular basis, not just at JOs, but during the fall. But now there's teams that are going out there in December, in February, and being competitive at these kind of the quote unquote the super tournaments that they have, that Cap 7 hosts and Winterfest and those type of things. And it's great to see these different teams from Texas go out there and be competitive.
Right. And right in the middle of the swim season. So this is commitment, and that's actually really important. I mean, I don't know whether the teams from California are surprised anymore, because they've been facing these very good teams from Texas for a while, but we're right in the middle of a high school swim season, and they're not.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just, I guess, the next evolutionary step of club water polo here in Texas. Like a lot of the clubs that we talked about have been doing it for a while, and they're looking to play at different times of the year that maybe historically during the high school swim season they wouldn't go and do stuff, but nowadays it's all kind of open season.
Yeah.
Hey, like, here's a tournament, and then we found out it works, and we can get some kids. We're definitely going. So.
Yeah, great news. All right, today's going to be a little bit short because Joe's on the road, like he's in a car. So we're not going to take up the whole time. So we'll take a small break, and we will come right back.
Hey, this is Jesse Smith, recent Pan Am gold medalist. I was just checking out Texas Water Polo from the TXWaterpolo Podcast. Also, you can check out the website. You can follow me at GoSmith now. Thanks, guys.
It's James and Joe back, wrapping up the week before Christmas. There are just a couple other things coming up. One thing that's highlighted is, of course, there's more tournaments on the schedule for January and February than there were a couple months ago, so that's good news. But one of them is the spin lob tournament. We've spoken about it a little bit before, but I'm not sure that everybody understands the quality that tournament hosts. So in the past, they've had some of the very top teams, in fact, the top teams in the country show up. What can you tell us more? Because I think the format has changed a little bit this year, or at least the host.
No. I mean, it's been hosted by Longhorn Aquatics and Totex, which is a local masters team in Austin. And they're still going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I know Southwest Zone is helping out a little bit this year. But yeah, the Spin Lob is a tournament that, they took a couple years of trying to find their footing, but they finally found like a little niche in early February. It's either like the first or second weekend of February, depending on pool schedules, that teams are willing to travel. Master teams are willing to come to Austin from around the country to play in both a men's and women's division event. I mean, the last couple of years, there's been the cream of the crop's been there from Nyack and Olympic Club, and then this year they're adding Newport and Costa. There's a lot of teams from coast to coast. Like there's to be 16 teams or 16 men's teams, and probably only 3 or 4 are going to be from Texas. That's it.
Yeah.
Then on the women's side, the field is the strongest I think it's ever been. Where like this year there's going to be Nyack, there's going to be O Club, there's going to be the LA Athletic Club. And then there's teams from Chicago and in Florida as well. And again, there's probably going to be anywhere between 8 to 10 women's teams. And it's not just the teams; it's the athletes on these teams are former Olympians from around the world. It's not just it's not just the United States Olympians.
Right.
And we're also going to, and this tournament has historically brought in the best of the best referees as well.
Right.
So I mean, it's going to be February 1st and 2nd. It's at the UT Swim Center. There's going to be no admission, so anybody can come watch the games. But the games are going to get started probably a little bit late morning on February 1st. They're going to utilize 3 courses there, and games will be done about 4 or 5 o'clock, and then everybody can go watch the Super Bowl.
I forgot about that. Oh, that's important. Yeah. A couple of things is one I recall a couple of years ago. One of my favorite memories is seeing. So at the time you were coaching Thunder, and that they were one of the teams in the tournament. Your I guess you can call them 18Us or Masters or whatever, and they're playing against I can't remember either O Club or New York Athletic Club. And just getting schooled, and I don't mean that in that they were getting dominated. They were getting taught. Like those guys were teaching your younger guys how to play because in fact, your guys I think got out on top because your boys were in very good shape. And I don't think I'm telling anything that people don't know, but the teams that come to Austin have a very good time. And so sometimes in the mornings they're not quite as sharp as they are later in the afternoon.
Sure, that's probably fair. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the draw is Austin. And yes, the teams come to have a very good time. And sometimes water polo can be a little secondary to the Masters teams. But nowadays, yes, we used to have some youth teams that would help kind of fill out the field a little bit.
Right.
Nowadays, there's not even room for all the local Texas teams.
Which is good,
And I mean, let alone any youth teams. So it's all Masters teams now. And I'm excited. They asked me to be part of it this year, so I'm helping out kind of on the organizing end. But it's going to be something that's going to be special for those that can get out there and watch. It's whenever the local team is or the local pool is available, which in this case is the UT Swim Center. That's the same weekend as high school regions. So
that's right.
For swimming. But if athletes can get down there on Sunday to come over, you're going to see some great water polo. And this is just, it used to be only Masters events in Texas. That's it. There used to be only Masters events back in the mid 2000s. And then we slowly started adding youth events. And now, kind of 15 years later, we have youth events that are completely dominating the calendar, and we actually need more. We need more of the Masters clubs to step up and host more.
Right. Yeah.
Because this is a Masters tournament. Now here in early February, the next Masters tournament that is on the calendar is not till September.
Wow.
In our zone.
That's incredible.
So,
all right.
Like there used to be a spring one, but that kind of turned more into an age group tournament, and now the age group tournament's gotten too big that they're not going to be doing the Masters divisions any longer. So I'm hoping to kind of work with some of the Masters clubs to help grow that and to find a place in May to maybe have like a good Masters event. The problem is, it's high school. Everybody's busy with high school.
Yep.
Coaches, Masters players are reffing or coaching. You know, pools are busy. You know, kind of referees are busy. So I mean, like the growth on the youth side and high school side, it has affected the Masters a little bit. But, you know.
Okay, that reminds me actually that I need to talk to you, and actually I'll even tell you now. You asked me about hosting something in January, and that looks pretty good. So I'll tell you all about that offline. But I'm also interested in actually hosting something that's Masters. Now the thing is, it's a single course outdoor pool, so
Sure.
It might just have to be local. Or if somebody wants to travel, then God bless them. That's great. But I'll talk to you about that as well.
Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, I think even the little single days, I think the Masters people are willing to travel and play. They just want to play. But they want to make sure that they have clocks on the pool deck and refs.
Oh, yeah.
The pool deck and stuff like that. So
yeah, we'll get that all set up. We're pretty good at hosting now. All right. Christmas season, Joe. So are you going anywhere?
I'm going to be spending Christmas Eve and Christmas morning in North Texas. Then I get to drive back down to San Antonio. So
the day after?
The day of Christmas on Christmas afternoon.
Gosh.
And then I'm going to spend a few days because Steph and myself both have family down in
got it.
And then we'll come back up here. I have a game day that I'm helping out with. The Lone Star Mavericks groups are having a game day on the 29th of their holiday game day, so we're going to be doing that. But then, you know, we'll get past New Year's and keep going for 2020.
Right. So, and again, you're cutting out a little bit on, but that's fine. Joe's on the road. We'll do another show next week on probably Tuesday. If it might not get up until Wednesday, but it's a year in review. So we're going to go over some of the biggest stories of the year. And we could use your input. So if you want to get in contact with us via any of the social media or by email and just let us know, what do you think the biggest stories of the year in the state of Texas about water polo are? We're going to cover them. I think we both know the number one story. I don't think there's any question about that. But anyway, if somebody else has another opinion, that's fine. And
there are a lot of big stories. So there's lots of big stories.
Okay, there are a lot of big stories, but I will be arguing about one story in particular. I'm sure it'll be a shock to other people, but that's not until next week. And then I'm doing the same kind of thing. I got family in town here in Georgetown. So Christmas Eve up there, Christmas Day at my house here in Austin, and then the next day we head up to Santa Fe for the week. So I will be stuck in the snow for that week, and then we will return, hopefully with some preview stuff beginning of January. We'll talk about the upcoming year. It's unbelievable, the year of 2020.
Awesome. Yeah. Stuck in Santa Fe. I'm sure there's worse ways to enjoy the holidays.
I don't have a problem with it, I have to say. I got a four-wheel drive car. I'm good. Yeah. No complaints.
All right, well, good. All right, James, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Same to you and the entire family, and thank you for your time today. Go to TXWaterpolo.com to listen to the podcast, find us on social media, and leave comments. We may, like I said, do some different scheduling for the next couple weeks, but for today, that's it, and Happy Christmas to you, Happy Holidays to everyone, and thanks to all of you for listening and telling a friend about the TX Waterpolo Podcast. Until next week, so long from Austin.
You promised me Broadway was waiting for me. You were handsome. You were pretty queen of New York City. When the band finished playing, they held out for more. Sinatra was swinging, all the drunks they were singing. We kissed on a corner, then danced through the night.